Good afternoon, everyone. I am happy to say that it's now 1 o'clock, and I would like to call the November 19th meeting of the UWP Committee to order. To start with a few reminders, if you are in the room and you haven't already, please sign up in the sign-up sheet in the hallway. If you're a member of the audience and would like to make a public comment later in the agenda, please fill out the public comment card and hand that card to the CMAP staff in the room. The meeting is being broadcast on Zoom and is being recorded. For those online to hear what is being said in the room, please make sure that we all use our microphones. It's also a best practice to identify ourselves when making a motion or a second. For those participating via Zoom, please keep your microphones muted unless you are called upon to speak. When appropriate in the agenda, I will request comments from those online and will recognize you when it's your turn to speak. With that, let's start today with self-introductions of the members here at the table. I'm Megan Swanson with IDOT, Chair of the committee, and to my right is
Amy Lee, CMAP.
Heidi Lichtenberger, representing Council of Mayors.
John Paul Deepla, FHWA.
Chris Skogsbakken, PACE.
John Loper, DuPage County, representing the counties.
Heather Mullins, Regional Transportation Authority.
Buck Doyle with CDOT.
Dustin Clark, representing Metro.
Thank you. We have the necessary voting members of quorum present. We also have received a request from Christina Bader, representing CTA, to participate remotely in this meeting. This request was made in compliance with the Open Meetings Act and requires a majority voice vote of this body. Would all of those in favor of allowing Christina's remote participation say aye?
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The vote passes. So thank you, everybody, and welcome to our meeting. The first agenda item is agenda changes and announcements. Staff does not have any changes or announcements today. And then do any of you want to propose any agenda changes or make any announcements? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the approval for the minutes. We have the draft minutes of the October 9th. Is that right? It says July 9th on my thing. No, it's okay, but I'm thinking it's right. It's October 9th. Okay. I just want to say the right stuff. Are there any additions or corrections to those October minutes? Okay, seeing none. May I have a motion to present, to approve these minutes as presented?
So move, CMAP.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will take a voice vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. The motion carries. Now we're going to get into the meat of our meeting. The next two agenda items will be updates from staff regarding the FY 2027 core budget proposals and the applications for FY 27 through 31 competitive projects. So we're welcoming Kama to the podium.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I almost fell into the good morning trap as well. So as noted at our last meeting, we did issue a call for FY 27 core budget proposals back in September, to which we had 16 responses. Since then, earlier this month, the RTA did withdraw their request, so we are down to 15 requests. Those agencies requested a total of $6.3 million in core funding, which would have been an 11% increase over the FY 26 external core budget. Unfortunately, IDOT provided draft marks to us in late October that are just 2% above our FY 26 mark. So we did have to shave those budget proposals a little bit across the board. So thank you to everyone that responded back to our suggestions for budget trims. We do have a couple of folks, including a couple of the councils, doing some reallocation among the activities and tasks, but for the most part, the budgets have been set to the slightly lower amounts suggested by staff. The total of The core program as proposed is 5.92 million for external agencies. That is still a 5.6% increase over the FY26 external core budget. CMAP's proposed core budget total is 28.3 million, about a 2.8% increase over FY26. This results in a cumulative 3.1% increase. So I know I just said that the mark is 2%. So why is the core going up 3.1%? It's actually because the competitive program last year was 1.1 million, and for FY27, which Hayden's going to present in a minute, is only 762,000, which was everything that applied for FY27. So that decrease in the mark allows us to do a little bit of a higher percentage increase in the core. So, so this is being presented, of course, for information today. And next steps are that the CMAP activities and tax details will be added along with those couple of councils that are readjusting. These numbers will be taken to the Transportation Committee in December for a recommendation to the MPO Policy Committee in January. Following the MPO approval of the UWP, in February, CMAP approves our comprehensive budget, which includes UWP funding as well as other fund sources. Should there be any substantial suggested changes to the UWP funding in that process, we would go back to the MPO in March. We don't anticipate that happening, but we do allow that in the timeline. The FY27 UWP is due to IDOT in April. So, well, the first draft is due in April, final is due in June, but it's our goal to have our final to them in April so that we don't have to work through that in May and June. Are there any questions about the core budgets? All right, again, thank you everybody for your flexibility and cooperation. I think we've got a solid budget for the year, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Kama. And then up next, Hayden is going to review the competitive program proposals.
There we go. And I'm here today to request approval of the FY27 through 31 competitive program. So on the next slide here, you'll see the program as recommended by staff. This is the same slide we showed you last week. There's no changes. So what has happened since we last spoke on this item is that we posted the program for public comment. No public comments were received. And then I also, we worked with y'all to collect the emerging issues scores and ranking. And on the next slide here, you'll see the emerging issue scores incorporated into the overall score. So what's presented here are the final scores for each of the projects. So thank you all for helping us get those scores put together. So we collected everyone's scores and then averaged them and applied the points according to the methodology to receive these final scores. So kind of for next steps, you know, if the program's approved today by this committee, next steps would be to present at the Transportation Committee in December, and then the MPO Policy Committee in January of 2026. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I do have a question. This is John Loper with DuPage. The question is so I'm reading this, and this, since I haven't been at the UWP committee here during the year, so it looks to me like the competitive is tailing off. Is that is by design, or is that by federal mark?
I think it's a great question that you're posing because it's kind of getting to what I wanted to hear from the committee. We just didn't get as many proposals as we had thought to the competitive pot. And so there is this kind of wonder that I have, is it just not valuable? Is it not what are the hurdles, I guess, to folks bringing forward proposals to the competitive program?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, is it just, you know, and I've got to believe that there are a lot of ADA self-evaluation and transition plan opportunities out there. I mean, there are a lot of communities that are absolutely necessary. I don't know if Council of Mayors, you know, core program include some of that? Because there are a lot of communities that were on CMAP's survey that hadn't done one yet as of 2 years ago. So, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, and right, at CMAP, we do have programs that support those sorts of activities largely through our technical assistance program. And so that's where we see most of those come through. But again, this UWP pot meant for sort of these regional level activities that align with where we want to go in the long run with our RTP and things like that. So, yeah, I put forward to you all, are there hurdles that are impeding your interest in the UWP competitive pot program? Are there things that we need to reconsider maybe in the future, or is it just needing more time to pull together proposals?
If I may speak from Metra's perspective, we have 2 open UWP grants. Both of them were from pre-COVID era. So for our interests, we wanted to spin down and show performance before coming back to the committee to request more funding support. Beyond that consideration, the restructuring of the competitive program requires a bit more planning and a little bit more burden on the applicants to submit an application. I believe that when the rescoring and the reformation of this program was being considered, there was some dialogue around that. It is ultimately in a place where it's incumbent upon UWP committee members to plan out future studies and other planning initiatives they'd like to perform over the next 5 years. So Metro's tried to do that internally. It's hard to plan out some items that we want to study in, say, 2030 as of right now. And then you have that kind of lag time between the committee approving and going through the full process, and then the funding actually being there to deliver the project. So there are a couple considerations there. I guess in summary, Metro will be looking to apply next round, but we wanted to show some spending performance and plan for our future application periods.
Christina has her hand raised, Megan.
Hi, yeah, I just like to second what Dustin was saying. I think we raised a lot of issues that we had with the restructuring of the program and especially the need to spend down funding within a year, a fiscal year. I think that was discussed at length during the committee meetings where, before the new methodology was adopted. Our application this year, we were very cognizant of like how much funding we would be able to spend, each year. And I think this was like kind of a trial run for us to see how it goes. And so I think, future years we'll have more of an idea of, what would be successful or not. And then also just again, seconding Dustin's point about the 5-year window is a little challenging for us to know what planning projects we would be, needing to pursue 4 or 5 years out is kind of difficult. I think there are some types of plans that have a cycle, but some of the things that we do just don't. We have to react to things as they come. So thanks.
Thanks. Is there anybody else that has comments?
Maybe I can just, I appreciate getting that sort of feedback. I do feel like there were some things that we had done intentionally, right? So that there is sort of a better understanding of the scope of these projects so that once awarded, you knew exactly what you were going to be running with. And so hopefully that will, that upfront work will kind of get out ahead of some of that ability to spend within a year. That's also why we went with a multi-year program. to understand that there's some latitude that's needed on how quick the spend can happen in a given fiscal year. I do want to urge, right, this UWP is centered around long-range planning. And so some of these quick hit planning immediate needs are probably best addressed through agency budgets. And so UWP really is designed to think long-term. And so hopefully these ideas are germinating, right, within your agencies and across agencies over time in a way that they can be better anticipated for this committee's consideration. So it's good to know that that's maybe some of the growing pains into this newly defined UWP program, but hopefully we can continue to see how that develops with a few more rounds. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Now that we're done with our discussion, do I have a motion to approve the FY27 through 31 UWP competitive program as presented? Heather, is there a second?
Second.
Buck, second. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yeah, just, I know I'm here representing council mayors, but just, I do work for King County. So I just wanted to make it known that in the event that the funds could become available earlier, we would be able to start in 27. That right now we have funds in 28 and 29. So just if anything changes with the funding, we'd be able to start in 27. We would just have to know by January or February timeframe in order to get things through our county board approval. But just wanted to let you guys know that. So.
Great, thank you. Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say nay. The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Hayden gets to stay up here and tell us about our 2026 meeting dates for our consideration.
Sure. So it's that time of year to set next year's dates. Here on the slide is the proposed meeting dates for 2026. So a little different than the 2025 calendar to kind of reduce the burden on y'all and staff that might have to travel to make it to these meetings. Staff would like to propose holding this committee meeting on the same day as the CMAC TAP and STP project selection committees. So that would change the meeting day to Thursday and then shift the time forward a little bit to 1:30 p.m.
Does anybody have any comments or concerns, questions? I think this is going to be really nice and help people to consolidate their travel and get a lot done in one day. May I have a motion to approve the 2026 meeting dates?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a voice vote again. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The motion carries, and these will be our meeting dates for next year. Now we're going to move on to item 5.0. Thank you, Hayden. And we're going to bring Kama back if she has any if there's any questions. In our packets, the staff have provided an update on the status of the 26 invoices. Does anyone have any questions at this time? Okay, we can go ahead and move on. We did not have any requests to do presentations today, but if anybody would like to talk off the cuff about one of their UWP funded projects, you sure can. I am going to make a suggestion and just kind of put it out there that I would love it if we could have people go ahead and sign up, maybe on a bit of a schedule for next year, so we could have at least one update on a UWP funded project per UWP meeting. I think it'd be really nice. We all want to know what everybody else is doing. And I found that sometimes going ahead and signing up and making that commitment makes it easier to be prepared and ready. So I'm going to work with Kama and Hayden to figure out how we are going to do that. And we actually already have our first volunteer for our first meeting. Dustin's going to talk to us about a Metro project. So please keep that in mind when it's coming out. Obviously, it's not like a mandate or anything, it's just something that I think would make our meetings a little more productive and interesting. We're going to move on to 7.0. Does anyone have any other business to bring before the committee today? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. Is there any public comment for our meeting today? Is there anyone online who would like to talk to us? Okay, seeing none. Staff didn't get any written public comment. We have no in-person comment cards and no virtual attendees. So we're ready for what some might say would be the second most important part of the meeting, ready to adjourn. Our next meeting is proposed to be scheduled on May 14th, 2026. So it'll be a while before we're all together again. Hearing no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Amy, and a second.
Second, Loper, DuPage.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Okay, with all in favor, our meeting is now adjourned at 1:22 p.m. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day.